left, NASCAR fans were long seen as ignorant, backward people who still invoked that imaginary sky fairy to watch over them before they mindlessly hurtled themselves around an oval track using that out-of-fashion internal combustion engine for hours upon hours on end in cars tackily deckled up in advertisements for revolting poor people delicacies like Wonder Bread, Slim Jims, and non-microbrewed beer. The left mostly left NASCAR alone, but then I knew the woke Taliban was going to come for NASCAR. One day in February 2020, NASCAR moved from being an inconsequential sport the left saw as exclusive to inconsequential people, rural hillbillies, conservative rednecks with their audacious stars and stripes all over everything, and the uncultured RV crowd, to something that just had to be destroyed, burnt to the ground. The day it all changed was the day Trump's presidential motorcade led the pace lap for the Daytona 500. That was the day Trump was the grand marshal of the race. Now, the crowd in Daytona, they went wild for Trump. And the left, they went wild with anger. NASCAR transformed that day from something the left smugly ignored to a multi-billion-dollar Trump-supporting business with millions of fans. NASCAR became problematic, as they say, and because of that, NASCAR became something the left would organize and ruin for everyone. And it would be up to NASCAR itself to stop the attack if they were cagey enough to understand what the attack would be and where that attack would come from. However, NASCAR did not understand. They never saw it coming. Enter the fake noose and the FBI. Bubba Wallace is the only black driver in NASCAR. He's also an outspoken advocate of Black Lives Matter. Fine. Who even cares? That's his own business. But on June 21st, Wallace's team reported finding a noose in Wallace's assigned garage in Talladega. The so-called noose was found before the race was set to begin at 3 p.m. Now, here's the official statement from NASCAR on the finding. Late this afternoon, NASCAR was made aware that a noose was found in the garage stall of the 43 team. We are angry and outraged and cannot state strongly enough how seriously we take this heinous act. We have launched an immediate investigation and will do everything we can to identify the person or persons responsible and eliminate them from the sport. As we have stated unequivocally, there is no place for racism in NASCAR, and this act only strengthens our resolve to make the sport open and welcoming to all. And according to breathless and unskeptical reporting by Yahoo Sports, the infield area at Talladega was not open to any of the 5,000 fans able to attend the race delayed to 3 p.m. on Monday because of rain. Anyone with approved access to the garage would be someone with a NASCAR credential at the race for work-related reasons. So you see, it had to be someone who's credentialed by NASCAR. NASCAR must have a racism problem. Bubba Wallace even went on CNN, the fake news network, to call the rope fixture a, quote, straight-up noose. Now, after a hate crimes investigation of the alleged noose, FBI Special Agent Johnny Sharp said in a joint statement with Birmingham U.S. Attorney Jay Town that after a thorough review of the facts and evidence surrounding this event, we have concluded that no federal crime, that's a hate crime, was committed. The FBI learned that garage number 4, where the noose was found, was assigned to Bubba Wallace last week. Although the noose is now known to have been in garage number 4 in 2019. Nobody could have known Mr. Wallace would be assigned to garage number 4 last week. And on Twitter, in a statement, NASCAR explained that the so-called noose was actually just a rope pull that had been tied together since October 2019. So a rope tied with a loop at the end to make the rope easier to pull to close the garage door, that's what got a team of 15 FBI agents deployed to the NASCAR garages. Do these people see racism in the loops of their shoelaces too? This wasn't a hate crime, just a rope doing rope things in a garage. Now, did Bubba Wallace ever once feel bad about knowingly falsely accusing his colleagues of harboring a racist amongst them as his teammates escorted him around the track at Talladega in a very public show of solidarity? They were all #standing with Bubba, while Bubba was stomping all over them and their fans and the reputation of the entire sport. Because there's no way that Bubba Wallace didn't know that that wasn't a noose in his garage, because there's photographic evidence to show the rope pull had apparently been there for months, since October 2019. It just conveniently became a noose when the left needed a reason to pull down this conservative-friendly sport, and they found a happy collaborator on the inside of NASCAR. Bubba doesn't feel bad, though. In fact, despite the happy conclusions of the FBI investigation, Bubba is still the victim in his own mind. Just watch.
I'm sorry.
Talk to me about how you're feeling right now.
I'm pissed. I'm mad because people are trying to test my character and the person that I am and my integrity, and they're not stealing that away from me, but they're just trying to test that. And as a person, Don, that doesn't need the fame, doesn't need the hype, doesn't need the media, I could care less. I could give two craps about that. But to sit there and read, and that's my problem. I'm reading too much into it and investing too much time into it.
Here we are 4 months later after NASCAR outed itself as Trumpy at best and at the very least Trump tolerant. And now NASCAR has alienated almost all the people who watched it because of NASCAR's willingness to buy into the left's narrative about their own sport. To be Trump tolerant is to be racist, they say. NASCAR did the dirty deed of selling out their own diehard loyalists and their own drivers and teams to please an insatiable outrage mob who would love nothing more than to see NASCAR just fold up shop. It's much the same as Chick-fil-A. After years of conservatives rallying around the fast food place on the front lines of the culture war to ward off anti-Christian attacks and boycott campaigns, the chicken shop finally capitulated to the pitchforks and torches of the left and bent a knee to progressivism, betraying all those who once defended them. Chick-fil-A let Christian values guide them right to the top of the business world and then abandoned the Christian values they used to get there. Will all this hurt the bottom line at NASCAR? Will they, get woke and go broke? Time will tell, but often we don't have to wait all that long for the results to roll in. Just ask Gillette. Remember this ad?
I've been a firefighter for 19 years. People sometimes ask if it's scary. It can be. But like anyone who has a job to do, you prepare, not just in terms of your equipment, but also mentally and physically. Sometimes it's total chaos, but you're trained to control your stress response.
Shortly after Gillette attacked their own customer base as devilishly toxic men, parent company P&G took a nearly $8 billion U.S. write-down in the value of the 118-year-old shaving business it purchased in 2005 for $57 billion U.S. It was easy to connect the dots. And then Gillette was resoundingly and deservedly mocked by Schick, the razor company's main competitor, in a series of ads that pointed out how masculinity is actually quite a valuable trait to have, especially if your home is being burgled. Now, I'm just a simple country journalist, but you don't have to be a business expert to know it's a bad idea to run off your best customers to please your worst customers. Maybe 2021 will be the year businesses learn this, but I thought that about 2020. For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. While CBC is getting more money than ever, they're doing less actual journalism than ever. They're actually doing less local news. During the pandemic, on the other hand, Rebel News has expanded our coverage. We've even added a daily show. To support the work that we do, please go to helprebelnews.com.